I've had several requests from people who have asked to get a closer look at how I store my paint and my stencils. So we'll do that today. We'll start with paint. I store it in a couple of different places. Refer back to my video, the one I did the tour of these drawers here, and you'll see where I store my watercolors and most of my liquid acrylics, things like that. But for the rest of it, we'll start with these tube paints on the wall. You may have noticed that I've cleaned off the top of my drawers. I just did a little rearranging, moved some things around, and I like it much better. Much neater to look at, plus I've got room to stack stuff. Because, you know, I don't ever put anything away right after I use it. I just make a pile and then put it away later. So I'll get me some cute containers and set on the ledge there in front of the button jars and make some more to-be filed sections. And, okay, for the tube paints, let's get a little bit closer so you can see what's going on there. These are hanging on some of those cheesy wire racks that I've got all over the room. They're cheap, but you know what? They work. And I've had them for years. They're sturdy. So, yeah, they're just fine. And I attached those wire racks to the wall with cup hooks. I'm a really big fan of cup hooks. You're gonna kind of be seeing more of that. Just because it was easy to do, and it was effective. It holds them fine. I didn't have to go out and buy any certain special kind of a hook or something to hold them. Cup hooks work just fine. And these are pretty heavy because, you know, the paint tubes are full, but they're staying up there. They haven't pulled out. Not all of the hooks are in studs. In fact, I would wager that most of them are not. But they seem to be holding fine, so we're doing good. The tubes themselves are attached to the rack a couple of different ways, and they're all from IKEA. A couple that would be both. They're both from IKEA. One is this type of hook, and you can get these over where the curtain rods and stuff are at IKEA. And I think this section comes with these, if I remember right. And you can get a whole big box of these for just $2 or $3. These little clips. And I like these because I never take them off of the deal. I just unclip them and, you know, there we go. So, there's that. And then this one. And I have to take a pair of pliers and bend this one because it's actually the other way when it comes with this so that your curtain hangs right. I know it's hard to explain. But anyway, it wasn't difficult to bend into the right direction that I needed it. And ideally, I would have these for all of them. I just didn't have enough. So, yeah, I'll make a trip back to IKEA and get some more of those when I can. And that's all there is to it. Easy breezy. Some of these, you know, the lids are broken. They don't quite fit right. I've never had a problem with any paint coming out. So it's, you know, it works for me, and I like the way it looks, and I like it's really easy to see what I've got and to pick out what I need, easier than digging through a drawer. I did have them in some of my drawers, and they started taking up too many drawers, and that's when I made the change. So I'm happy with that for my tube paints. Now let's move over to the everything else paints. These are the rest of my paints, mostly acrylics, and they're on this wire rack, cheesy wire rack that's kind of behind my middle of the room workstation. And it's working pretty good. You know, not ideal, but it serves its purpose, so I'm happy with it. Let's get a closer look. On top of the rack, this is where I put brushes and things like that. And I have them kind of sorted in various containers. There's these little, I use a lot of these little doodads like this. And I have little sponges on the end that I glued on, and then the brush, and then They're kind of divided up by Roy G. Biv, you know. And then I have some more over here, some larger ones, and just, you know, brushes and stir sticks and spatulas and straws and just any kind of stuff to move paint around with. And a few rubber gloves to grab. This is mostly mediums, gesso, things that I need to grab quickly and often. I don't know why that's there, it really doesn't go. These are things like fixative and alcohol. On the side I hang an extra bottle, a squirt bottle of water, and a giant leaf for no reason, I don't know. And then over here, this usually has water in it, in case I just need to access water quickly. Next shelf is some random little acrylics, and that's not good. I do try to prop these to where they don't fall through. And then this has some little Lumieres and some, I do have a few actual golden paints that were gifted to me. Look at that. Woohoo! And then down here is most of my craft acrylics. And what I did here, if you can tell, there are two wire racks. One wire rack, these fall through. But I use cable ties on these racks. I took cable ties and put two of them together and then just offset them a little bit. You know, they're not stacked right on top of each other. They're kind of offset like that. And then that makes this not fall through. So that's the trick for that. And I store them upside down. I've never had one leak before, and it's easy to see what colors I have, you know, without having to put the dot on the cap like some folks do. This is just easier for me. So, easy storage for your craft acrylics. And then down here is just some more. There's some liquid acrylics, and those are tempera paints back there, and that's some screen printing paint I got on clearance. Just random stuff. My twinkle toes are right here, and most of them are in one tray. That other tray has a few extras, plus the lids, which makes good little mixing pots, you know, for mixing colors. So that's where I keep those. And then down here is the rest of my rubber gloves. And then these are all latex house paint samples and small containers, you know, that you get off the Oops rack. So that's all right there. And then I keep some palettes over here. And then that's it. That's it for the paint. So, let's move over to the stencils. This is where I'm keeping my stencils now, as of last night. It's over on the left side of the room, right above the sewing machine and Cricut machine, you know, in case you're keeping up with how things are laid out. This came about because I came in here last night to set up my lights and to get my camera ready so I could film this morning. And I started thinking about what I was going to film, and I thought, okay, paint and stencils, because those are two things that several people have asked to see. Paint wasn't a problem, but when I thought about showing my stencils, I just went, I didn't really like where they were. I didn't want to show everyone, here's how I store my stencils, and I hate it. You know, this is the way I hate to store my stencils. It was just irritating me. I knew I wanted them hanging somewhere. I had them hanging off the side of one of my cheesy wire shelves, but it was kind of up against the wall. I couldn't see them, and, you know, it was just irritating. And I knew I wanted this kind of system, but in my mind I kept thinking, okay, you're just going to have to wait till you can go to IKEA, get some rods, get some hooks, you know, make it happen. Okay. I got way frustrated and just said, okay, forget IKEA. I went out in the garage, found some curtain rods that I wasn't using, went in my little curtain rod clip bin thing, found some clips that I wasn't using, and put this together. It's not ideal. You know, I do not like these, they're kind of shower curtain rings that I've used to hang them. And that's not ideal. I don't like that. I've got several hanging off of one hook, and I really want each one on its own. So whenever Jason gets a job and we have some income again, then I'll go to IKEA and then I will get some proper little rings to hang on here so that each stencil is on its own. But this is the setup that I like, the concept that I like. Let me move in. You can kind of see that I have the shower curtain ring hanging off here, and then these little curtain hook deals that I have an abundance of, but yet not quite enough, are hanging here. And I just poked a hole in the stencil, an extra hole on the edge. Some of them, you know, the design goes right up to the edge. I could just hook it through the design, but on that kind, I just poked a hole. No big deal. And hanging it like that. So I can pull them off individually, but I want them on individual hooks so that they're more spread out so I can see them. But this makes me happy for now. This is the second or third different stencil storage system that I've done, and you know, all the previous ones have worked for a little while, but then I got frustrated with them. This one is, I hope that it's the last one. I hope that it works for a long time. And then, maybe when, you know, when I can get back to IKEA, I can get another one of those smaller rod things that people are putting their punches on. And then I can get my punches out of that drawer. So, yeah, that's my plan. Okay. Paint and stencil. That is it. Hope you got some good ideas from today. Until next time, the end.